Hello everybody, my name is Stavri and today I'm going to teach you how to use the most popular Microsoft Office application, which is called Microsoft Excel. In order to open the app, you can go and click on the icon which is attached to my taskbar. I click on it and as a result you can see the app is opening. In order to open a new file, you need to select blank workbook, click on here, and then what you are seeing now is a new file. This file by default has got a name book 1. However, it is preferable from time to time to save your work, and before doing this you can just save the file under the name you want. In order to do this, you can click on the F12 button and then you can choose the folder. I have created a folder called Excel for Everyone, and there I can choose the name. This is lesson 1, and then you can press save button. You can see now that the newly created file is saved under the name lesson 1 with an extension XLSX. So now let's get started. What we did is that you open the Microsoft Office application, then we created a new file, which file has been saved just under the name lesson 1, and now we can continue from here. Once again, it is a good practice when you save your work from time to time. So I'll describe the environment, the working environment. You can see the spreadsheet or the table, the electronic table, where you can do your calculations. So Excel is very powerful in many directions. One of which is just to do your calculations, but not only that, you can insert or import data from different sources. You can then process this data. You can visualize this data using different charts, and then you can continue with data analysis, drawing conclusions, and so on. So there are many things which we could do using Microsoft Excel. The purpose of this first lesson is just to show the working environment, which is organized in such a way that you have on the top different menus, starting from File menu, Home menu, Insert menu, and others. The Excel file itself is usually called workbook, and each workbook has got worksheets. By default, the first worksheet is called sheet 1, but if you need more than one worksheet, you of course can create a new one just by clicking on the new sheet button. And now you can see we just created another sheet, number 2. So essentially it is a very intuitive and user-friendly working environment where you can insert data, process this data, visualize the data, analyze it, and use it in your reports or for decision-making purposes and so on. Of course, there are many functionalities which we may not have the time to cover, but the most important things is how to get started, namely just to run the application, to create a file, to save the file under different name, and then to start working in a worksheet. The interesting here is that Microsoft Office Excel application, due to its popularity, it's being used by many people working in different areas with different professional backgrounds. So Now we can say confidently that Microsoft Excel is used by students, by professionals in business. It is used by managers for decision-making purposes. Of course, it is used by data analysts, engineers, scientists, and many more people, specialists, experts, scientists, researchers, and so on. So depending on the job that you will be doing here, we can focus on different menus. But overall, as I said earlier, we've got different menus which provide different functionalities, starting again from the file menu, from where we can create a new file, open a folder, save the file under different name, and of course go to the options where we can change some settings which we may cover later. To go back to the main menu, you can click on this arrow, and then we can go through the home menu, which menu contains some configuration that could be applicable to the fonts that we have been using, to do some copy and paste operations, some formattings, and many others. Insert menu is also very helpful. It allows us to insert different charts and graphs that nicely illustrate or visualize the data that we process. The page layout menu, it provides different sections such as page setup, scale to fit, and others, which help us to organize the worksheets, its size, and so on. And of course, we shouldn't forget one of the most helpful menus, which contains sections to insert different functions and use different formulas. What follows is the data menu, which provides the opportunity to import data from different sources and different applications, which we may cover at some point. On the other hand, the review menu, it contains some settings which allow us to protect the worksheet that we work on, or the whole workbook, I mean the file. We can of course protect the different cells so that the user by accident not to be allowed to delete a value inside the working environment, I mean the spreadsheet. The view menu also contains some helpful options, and we shouldn't forget here the macros, which allow us to write VBA macros, which is Visual Basic for Applications, a very powerful language, which is derived from Visual Basic version 6 and allows the user to automate some repetitive tasks and other things and processes. We have got here also the automate menu, which also allows us to automate processes. Of course, the developer, which leads to the Visual Basic working environment, where, if you are interested, could write Visual Basic for Application program code to automate tasks and processes. Invaluable source is the help, which is given here, and some options which provide the user to create a PDF file and other things. So for example, if we will need to show how we could do a calculation, a simple calculation, we could say, okay, we've got variable A, we've got a variable B, where the variable A has got value 3, B is equal to 4, and the question is how can we actually sum these two values to calculate the variable c. So what we could do is just write the equal sign, then select the first cell, enter plus sign, then select the second cell, which has got an address b2, and then we can click or press the enter button, which results in the calculation, the sum of the values of the two variables, which is 3 plus 4 equals to 7. And you can see here we've got a formula bar where we can see what the formula is that has been used to do the calculation. And then, as I suggested, from time to time we can just click on the save button to save our work, and that's it. I would say what we covered in this short lesson is what Microsoft Excel is, how we can open the Microsoft Excel Office application, how we can create a new file, how we can save the file under the desired name. Then we quickly went through the different menus, showing some of the key functionalities that Microsoft Excel provides. We also covered the important things, which are actually the workbook, which essentially is the file, and each workbook contains a worksheet, which is the spreadsheet with the electronic tables, but we could also use another or more than one worksheets which we can create so that we can use Excel for our purposes. So overall, Excel is a very powerful Office application, a spreadsheet, and electronic tables, which provides a large number of functionalities, allowing users not only to import, process, clean data, but also to visualize the data, to perform some simple or very complex calculations, to automate some tasks using Visual Basic for Application, also known as VBA, then to create charts and graphs, allowing or enabling visualizing the data that we've got, which data, and based on these graphs, which would help the user to draw some conclusions and provide the results to their managers or to use it for their own purposes. So overall, Microsoft Excel is a very user-friendly, very intuitive, and on the other hand very powerful at the same time Office applications, which provides plenty of functionalities which can be applied and used in different areas by different professionals in their daily work, including students. So this is what I wanted to cover in this lesson. Thank you for your attention, and I'll see you next time.